I've seen with my own eyes all the children and innocent, unarmed civilians that have been murdered by this guy with his soldiers, pulling them out of cars when they're trying to flee, executing them, unarmed, beating them, children. I've seen it all. I've collected the videos. So the nerve of this guy to sit here and point fingers when he's got logs in his own eyes. Look at this guy. This is mental illness right here, because he's complaining about horror and genocide and murdering of people. And this is the same guy who said that he will use nuclear weapons on any people who tries to stop him from going in and invading and slaughtering millions of people in Ukraine. He has literally attacked, yes he has. I've seen the bombs fall with my own eyes onto the innocent people in the streets. I've seen them being burnt, laying in the streets, ashed. I've seen them unarmed, being pulled out of cars and executed. And then somebody stopped to help somebody and they shot at him for trying to help somebody that was left alive. He's not of his right mind, because how is he going to sit here and talk about genocide when he's doing the very thing that he speaks of that is bad? That's mental disorder. And he's saying, oh, they went in and attacked and went retaliatory because these people would not agree with them. Okay, first of all, you want them to support a coup? They're taking the land of Ukraine and rebelling. So obviously they're going to go in on the offense. And hello, no person in Russia is going to be able to take over Russian land and decide to do a coup. It's okay that it happens in Ukraine. It should be allowed in Ukraine. Coups should be allowed in Ukraine. Take the land of Ukraine and do a coup. But by golly, you better not do it in Russia. You're arrested if you even hold a sign to protest the government's actions. They just passed a law this week that you will have stiff sentencing if you criticize the actions of the government. And here it is right here. He has gone in and attacked Ukraine and caused thousands of deaths. And why? Because he doesn't agree with what they're doing. And here he's talking about them doing the same thing. That's craziness. And he keeps talking about Nazism. Dude, newsflash, the Ukrainian people voted in a Jewish president. Nazis don't like Jews. And most specifically, the doctrines of Hitler was for one race. And the comments that he has made in this speech is about indigenous people and the various ethnicities is causing instability in the government. And that is exactly what Hitler preached. They couldn't stand it. They wanted one race environment. They wanted one race government because it's more stable for them, is what they preached. And so they didn't want the Jews in there. They couldn't stand them. They were of different religion and they just couldn't stand it. And that's what he's doing. He's made the comments, the very same comments in this video, talk about how Lenin policies were wrong, okay, because he knows that's what the Russian people want to hear, because Russians, for the most part are not Nazis, and they don't want the repeat of history in the Lenin principles. But then out of the other side of his mouth, he talks about how ethnicities he believes in indigenous people causes unstable governments and unstable environments. He's a racist. He is a Nazi. And he wants to preach Nazism while talking about the people who vote in a Jewish president are Nazis. He's delusional. And here it is. He just said out of the other side of his mouth how, they did bloodshed on those people because they stole the land and they became their own government. So they used violence and because they didn't like what they're doing. And look what he's saying. He just said, do what I want, give me what I want, otherwise there will be continued bloodshed. Talk about a hypocrite. What's so crazy is he started out this speech talking about how Ukraine is our neighboring country, they're our relatives, they're our family, and then ends his speech with, "We're gonna come kill you if you don't do what I want." Oh my gosh. Look, he's talking about Ukraine. He is talking about the people of Ukraine in a very endearing manner. How our colleagues, our friends, and people we've served together. And then at the end of the speech, "We're going to kill you, and there's going to be a whole lot of bloodshed if you don't do what we want." Man, this guy's crazy. This is how he ends his speech. "We're going to keep killing you if you don't do what we want." Yeah, that's how you treat your family and your colleagues and your friends. Wow, dude. Somebody is going to remove this man from power. I'm so happy to know that that's going to happen. And he talks about how the land got separated, and he mentions like the Ukrainians didn't have a choice. You know what? The Ukrainians are speaking pretty daggone loud on how they're very proud and their choices they want to be Ukrainian. There's rebel factions that are basically anti-government. And yeah, they have separated. But that's a teeny tiny portion of the government of Ukraine. You know? And they want to be Ukrainian, dude. See? And here it is. Nobody asked the millions of people living there what they thought. And here is this guy. He doesn't care what they think. You have many, many, many thousands and many, many, many millions. There's like, 43 million people in Ukraine? And none of them are rising up and saying, "Yeah, Putin, come on in. We want to be Russian." There's your little separate factions that became their own little separate government and rebelled and stole the land of Ukraine and took it by force. Okay, there's those little groups of people. But everybody else up in that entire country, he is the one that doesn't care what they think. He's the one threatening bloodshed against his so-called friends and colleagues.